Woof Woof. Do you want to know the history of why insects are small? Well, I'll tell you. Back once upon a time, called the Carboniferous period, there was a lot of oxygen in the planet because insects happen to breathe through a filter system. Not like in us where we have lungs that breathe, but they breathe passively. Unfortunately, this causes them to not be able to be as efficient. So they have to be small to maintain a small body. But in a magical time called the Carboniferous period, there was a lot of oxygen given as the planet was covered in plants. Well, Woof Woof, you must be wondering why there isn't a lot of big insects now. Well, that's easy. The Carboniferous period failed because of a nuclear war that caused massive power outages and made a fail-safe to fail by the evil Lich King, where he made a biological experimental virus that was released from a top-secret laboratory that caused a plague of undeath. Luckily, the Spider Lord Anubarak was able to keep the massive invasion of undead at bay, using only his wits and an inexplicable comprehension of agricultural science and engineering. Luckily, they were able to keep them at bay. And that's when the meteor hit. Now, Woof Woof, you may be wondering why we're not infected by the massive undead bacteria. It was wiped out by a new alien bacteria that came from the meteor. And Woof Woof, no, I mean, we're not going to be infected by the new alien bacteria because it only infects other bacteria. It was wiped out. Don't you understand anything about science? Good night.